show. That's right. Find out everything you want to know at the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Tune in for all the hotness. When it come to real estate, we cover all topics. First time home buyers selling your property. Want to build an empire? Real life monopoly. We talk duplexes, triplexes, multifamily units, and commercial investments. We got you. The Headley Group got you. You can own whatever you want. Who gonna stop you? We got you. The Headley Group got you. Here's your host, Mike Headley. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? This is Mike Headley. We are back on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Now, listen to this here. I got to put this out there. One thing, we keep it real on the show. Okay, I had a guest, and the guest did not come through as I thought they was. So I said, who can I call last minute? So I reached out to somebody who's a little more dear to me, and I said, why not call somebody who I know I can probably count on, and it's last minute, but Kalia Nurse, who happens to be my cousin, my first cousin at that, she said, Mike, I can get on, but I'm in the car. Let's give a warm welcome to my cousin, Kalia Nurse, who's a broker in Florida. How you doing?
Hey, cousin.
Hey, cousin, it's a beautiful thing right here, right?
I love it.
So now, my cousin's working with a Combs Premier Realty Group who covers Central and South Florida. And she's been licensed in the business for 2 years now. So I want her to speak to more or less people thinking about getting into the business, probably been in the business a year or two. You can give us some great information, because I know you had some roadblocks and challenges and some things that can be a plus to somebody with some good stories, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Just want to tell you, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your awesome show. You all need to check it out. Subscribe on YouTube, Headley Group, because it's really good content that he's putting out there to help everybody.
And I
So
appreciate
everybody
that.
do that. Yeah.
So now, that's enough about me, which we think we're going to dive into you. What made you say, I want to get into real estate? Talk to us.
Okay, so when I first started into real estate, I was a homeowner.
Okay.
I wanted to purchase home. I wanted to purchase my first home. I was a single mom, had one child, and I was ready to stop renting. So in 2015, I got my first home, two-bedroom, one bath house, and it was only $135,000 in 2015, believe it or not. And so I fixed it up a little bit because I wasn't a real estate agent or anything. I just was a regular homeowner, and I was like, I wanted my kitchen to look nice. I wanted my windows to be upgraded. So I did all of that. And as time went by, a year went past, and I would get a little Zillow ding email saying, your property value went up. And I'm like,
okay.
It went up good. Then the second year came by, and I saw it went up significantly in 2017. 2017, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to ahead and take advantage of that. So I sold it for $195.
Let's put a pause
in 2
here.
years.
Let's do the math on this one. How much you buy it for? How much did you buy that thing for?
135.
135.
I put 3.5% down.
Okay. 3.5% down. And you sold it for how much?
3.5% down. 195.
Okay. 195. You know something? And this is just roughly, you got to put everybody in your business, but you had a good profit.
Yes.
And the sweet thing about it, you was an own occupant, you didn't have to pay capital gains tax.
Nope.
Beautiful thing, sister. But go ahead, carry on.
So when that happened, and I got that huge check that had my name on it for almost like a year's worth of salary, I was like, this is awesome. So I took that money, and I wanted to move back further to my parents, closer to my parents. So where they live is a little bit more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So now I was able to put 20% down on a home that I wasn't able to afford 2 years ago. Now I can afford it because I can put more money down. So I did that and got into that home. Again, I wasn't into real estate. I didn't become a realtor at that time, but I still wanted to do a little upgrades, did upgrades for that home. And the real estate market was just booming those years. And this house is skyrocketing again. So my second home purchased it for $255, and I sold it in 1 year for $300,000.
Hold on. This is some good stuff here. Can you see, because you had a little pause there, and I just want to let people know again. I called the last minute, so we have you got to apologize for that. Technical difficulties because again she's on her phone in her car, and I did catch her last minute, so we're gonna work what we can work with. Before I said that, what'd you say about 300,000?
Yes, bought it for 255,000, put 20% down, and I sold it in 1 year for 300,000.
Oh my God!
After I did a little upgrades,
Woo.
I did a new roof. I put new windows. That's it.
Oh my God! So the fact is, let me make sure I peel some of this back here. You got into the business based off of, okay, I want to buy a property, first time home buyer. So then you seen how the market was increasing. You sold your property and you didn't go spend it on shoes. You didn't go spend it on buying another car. You said, I'm going to leverage this back into real estate. And you still came out with a profit on your second property.
Absolutely. The market was, it was just going, it was booming. And I was like, I have to take advantage of this. And that's when, in that home, I became a real estate agent and I sold my own home. No commission.
Okay. You see that? You see all the sacrifice here, people? And she's willing to do that. So she didn't say, nah, I got to live here 2025. She saw that I can always buy another house. I want to make a profit. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So let me peel it back. In terms of you being a real estate professional, you get your license, you get into the business. Walk us through that first 6 months and your first deal. What was that like?
Okay, so I was working full time for the federal government. So I wanted that side hustle. Everybody says you have to have multiple streams of income.
Let me interject. Are you still part-timing or you do this full-time?
Full-time real estate.
Oh man, hold on. I gotta give this round of applause. And the reason why I gotta give this round of applause, I think I started off part-time. I had a job. And quick story with that is, when I was working with the company, my quote-unquote mentor at the time, he showed me a check for $10,000, right? And I was like, man, he was like, you'll never get that working at that job, doing a part-time thing. And not saying you can't do it, but the fact is when you give yourself 100% attention to something, you get 100% return. But I digress.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on that, though. But go ahead.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes, full-time. Even with the full-time, I went in head first. I was super excited. And once I joined Combs Premier Realty Group, he really, my broker, Emmett Combs, came in and was like, okay, let's do this video. Let's do this marketing. This is how you do social media. And I dived in and as full-time, my first client came in I would say the second month of me having my license. Yeah, second month. So that first month I was preparing, doing the education, had to buy the memberships, to the real estate board, all that good stuff. And then once I got my feet in there, I started marketing myself as a real estate expert because I felt like I was, because I was 2 times a homeowner, and I fixed and flipped practically without me even really knowing I did that. So I came in as a real estate expert. I can help you, and just I targeted first time home buyers because I was there. I've been there. And so that's how I did it. In second month, got my first client. I mean, it was very interesting.
No. Here's my thing, and I think it could be a learning experience, not diving in too deep. But walk us through that. Was it rocky, stressful? You was like, man, like walk
Wow.
us through that.
Yeah, because I saw on one end, as a homeowner, I saw only on the homeowners end of the transaction. But when I went on the other end, I said, wow, this is very detailed. You have to be on point. And
Project manager.
Yeah. So you got to be accessible. You have to explain things. You know, and even if you don't know it, you better go find out, get right back to your client. I mean, it was on, you know, very, very detailed. It was my first one. So thank goodness I had some sort of a background in, you know, purchasing a home. So, because that helped me immensely. And then all the other stuff, my broker was holding my hand through that first transaction. I thank God for him. But we put in a whole lot of bids, and we lost a whole lot of bids. So I had to learn what to do and how to be aggressive in that market that we were in at that time. And I think after the 5th bid of not, you know, getting that bid, I said, okay, this is how they play this game. So let me boss up and say, we had to actually, my client and I had to sit down and say, we had to regroup, replan, re-strategize, because what they wanted to do was not what the market was allowing them to do with the bids. We had to go above asking, because at that time it was a seller's market and it wasn't that much inventory. So it was multiple people going for the same house. So we had to stand out. And I, once I let them know, hey, if you really want this, this is what we have to do. And they were on board, and we finally got that house. It was awesome.
Let me ask you a question. Let me peel back the onion a little bit. Each time you lost the bid, contract was accepted by another offer, your offer wasn't accepted. Was that like a chunk out of the buyer's motivation taken out? Like they was getting a little discouraged?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was like, should we do this now? Maybe we should wait. That it was that kind of thing. And then, some, quarrels happen between, husband and wife, because one person wants this, the other person wants another. But not until everybody came on one accord and they discussed how important it was for them to be homeowners. That's when things became like grind mode. Like we have to get this. We have to do this because this is going to happen. So when all the doubt went away, it was smooth sailing.
Well, and the thing is, like you just said, you got to be on the same accord, because it is a stressful task. First, we're buying a house together. We can't find what we want. And then we start looking at each other. Oh, man, is it a good time? Let me ask you, did you feel any of that heat by being the agent?
Yes, but they were super nice. They knew that I was doing everything that humanly possible that I could do. And they knew too that I was, they were my first transaction.
Okay.
So they kind of like, okay, we're going to do this together. Like we're going to grow together and we're going to get this done. because they just love my energy. My energy was like, we gonna get this, you're gonna be homeowners, we got this. So I was positive the entire time that I was able to get it done. And that helped them along the way as well.
That they'll be clients for life. Their
Oh
friends,
yeah.
family, and everybody gonna refer them to you. The fact that you got them over that hurdle.
And
Okay,
they have.
great. Let me ask you something here. What when you got to the business, and again you're walking us through that first client, what was that initial investment like? Because again, it is a business, and that's not your part-time job. What is that investment like? And was you like, okay, I didn't know it was like this? Like, walk us through that.
Yes, had no idea how much money it takes to start your real estate career. When I got into it, I had to take a leap of faith because I did not have those reserves. Even in class, they really didn't tell me that.
Man, they never do that. They never tell you what it really is.
No.
They don't.
But I took, I paid, you paid for the class, you paid for all the tests, you paid, and then afterwards I'm just like, okay, I signed up with a brokerage, let's go. And my broker like, okay, you have to sign up with this, you got to sign up with that, you got to do
Correct.
this, you got to do that. And I was like, it was like cha-ching, cha-ching. So what I did was, I was so confident that real estate was going to be it for me. I just put it all in that credit card and threw caution to the wind. As I knew, and I was able to pay that credit card within in full, after my first transaction.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
you see that?
It was worth it. I'm glad I did it and didn't wait to do it.
The sweet thing about that is that you believe so much in yourself. And let me put this out there again. We keep it real on the show. My cousin is very, 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 very faith-based, right? So she believed in empowerment, which I do as well. But I believe God really said, okay, well, Kalia, go ahead and I got you, right? And I don't want to speak for you from that. Was that similar to that? Did God say, I got you?
Oh, yes. I have been told that I was put on this earth to do something where I'm going to be helping a lot of people. And I just couldn't figure out what that was.
Okay.
I'm working for the federal government. So, it was, I dealt with customers. So I thought that's what it was going to be. And believe me, that was a blessing as well, because I really did help a lot of people in my career. And, but I felt empty. It was something missing. I was like, there's something else I'm supposed to do. And I could not figure out what it was.
Okay.
And a young man that I currently dating, he was saying, listen, just stop guessing and do what you have to do. You're going to pass the test. Take the time to do it. Just do it. And I was like, I don't know. It costs a lot of money because I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. So
I got a terminology for that. I don't know if you see my last show. I had a show with Tangi, the money mentor, and the terminology I came up with was called fiscally responsible.
I love that.
Fiscally responsible. I got you. Yeah.
I'm all of that. So okay. I was like, no, I'll wait till I have some money, maybe my income tax refund. He was like, no, do it now. And I went ahead and did it. And I was like, I didn't look back. I never looked back.
So the important thing, what I'm hearing out of that is having great energy around you. Again, what they always say, you become the fifth person. You have to. You have to have good energy around you. And I believe that in family and friends. Again, now you're going to be an anchor or you're going to try to push me up, right? So that's the plus, that you had somebody around you that can give you that extra boost of energy to make you go down to your career path. Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're going to interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that. Let me ask you something here. Okay, so now we walked through 6 months, got into the business, I made my investment, and I see one of your specialties is that, and you just you're just tapping into the commercial space, right? Can I say that? It's fair to say that. Commercial space?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Commercial space. So now, so now you tapping into that. Walk us through, and you've done a transaction. I think a rental, you was telling me about that?
Yes.
Okay, so walk us through that. How was that transaction?
So commercial came at a little, I wasn't expecting that. One of my good friends, she's creating a juice bar, and she was one of my first time home buyers, and I helped her purchase her first home. So she always come to me, anything real estate. So she came to me and was like, hey, I'm trying to find a space for my business because I'm expanding. And I'm thinking like, sure, I'll help you.
Play along. I got you.
I had no idea, what I was doing. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I started looking, I started asking questions, I started reading books and about commercial real estate. And I was like, okay, I could do this. Like, what kind of leases? There's so many type of leases in commercials, and it was very, very interesting. So we found a spot, and the owner of the spot that we found, she liked the way I talk. She liked my work ethic. So she said, hey, I have 2 other units that I need to rent out. I want you to be my realtor and list my units to rent out to business owners. I was like,
hold on. We got to interject again. Let's get a round of applause for that right here. That's a beautiful thing. And I got to interject and say, because I just love stories where people are so, you're so stuck on the over-analysis, and you get paralyzed because you're thinking too much. You took action. You said, hey, I don't know too much about this. Let me talk to some people who's in the field. Let me read some books. But then that door led into you talking to the owners, and that led into, with a great personality, to more business. Because you just made it happen. Oh my God, let's go round of applause. But go ahead, Karen. But I applaud that. I really like that.
That was a bless. And she said, do you do this? Like, have you listed? And I was like, I haven't listed a commercial, but I could do it.
Truth trumps. That's right.
And, I listed it, and, I rented out her units, both her units, within 30 days. So.
Client for life.
Yes.
When she's ready to sell, she calling you.
And all that's going to do is bump up, because now it's a different clientele now. So now we have business owners that have more capital, that have just, different level. And that's just me stepping out and not being scared. So now because I put my foot in an area and it started to flourish. So I'm very grateful.
I mean, there's so many good golden nuggets there that a person just getting into business, year one, year two, they looking at you as inspiration. Because again, out of all of this, you just started. You didn't think too hard. You said, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna put in the man upstairs. He gonna guide me. Kudos to you.
Yes.
Okay. So now we
are.
You're welcome. So now we're in the business. Okay. So now year two, COVID-19 hits you. Okay. What has some changes? Because I think we all had to switch things up with our business, what we're doing now. What some things that your company has implemented to kind of take care of your clients, considering what we're dealing with this epidemic?
Absolutely. What in 2020, I believe, myself personally and my brokerage, we really went into education. Educating the public that even though during the virus and the pandemic, real estate was still moving, and it was moving quick. And in order to take advantage of what was happening, of course, people that was able to do it, some people really was affected financially, but there was some people that were not affected, they flourished during the pandemic. And we're talking about first responders, nurses, police officers, correctional officers, like the people, the essential workers, they were getting paid hand over fist because of what, so we went in and we targeted, those buyers, saying that, hey, interest rates are record low, and now you have all this income for at least 2-3 months. This is a great time to buy. You're gonna, save so much money because of interest rates. So that's how we did it. And Emmett Combs, my broker, really invested a lot of money into marketing. So the marketing aspect, videos, pictures, just showing everybody that we're still working and we're ready to help anybody that really wants to do this. Things are happening and has not slowed down. So that's what we did.
Okay. Here's what I would say, and actually I had and I definitely want you to watch that episode where we did with Jeremy Norman. He's a broker out of Atlanta and Birmingham, Alabama. We got about 150 agents, a minority brother, and we talked about he talked about marketing. I emphasize marketing. You brought up marketing, and I think we're marketers first, and then we're real estate professionals second. How has the marketing been a plus for Combs Premier Realty and as well as for your business?
Just putting out good vibes, getting everybody excited. And one thing that I didn't mention, my brokerage is a Black-owned brokerage, and so we went in and we're showing, all of these beautiful faces, all this melanin in all of the videos, and we're excited, and it's the vibe. The vibe is so important, and people are attracted to positive energy.
Correct. And the sweet thing about that is, we're taking, I don't want to speak for him or yourself, y'all unapologetic either. This is us. All this melon, this is who we are. And we have a great culture, and we can help you all buy or sell a property.
Perfect.
Question, and I know that we are in the seller's market. I take the same for there as well. Seller's market?
Yes.
So the fact that there's a lot of buyers and not enough inventory, and definitely not enough meat on that bone in terms of equity, do you target listings, or you just want to focus particularly on buyers?
Honestly, I don't focus. I do it all.
I like that.
I'm telling you, people ask me, "Oh, what do you focus on?" I'm like, every day, I'm like, okay, I'm putting out marketing about for listings. I'm putting out marketing for buyers, because for people that are selling, they're getting full price and above asking in South Florida. And the houses are staying on the market. I mean, even houses that need work are staying on the market no less than 5 days.
Same here.
Okay, so they're getting all their money, and then they could still buy something else because the interest rates are so good that they're like, you know what, even if it take a little bit longer to find my home, I got this fat check from my house, and my interest rate's so good, run it. I'm ready to buy a house. Like, that's, and then buyers, I always tell them about the interest rate. So everybody right now could eat. Everybody could benefit in this market right now. Sometimes you just need a little bit of patience.
That's right. I was telling somebody, I said, I think with the moratoriums that's going to end December 31st, which they said that, there's a large amounts of evictions in place, that I know that will be a disruption for the market as well, particularly that first and second quarter of next year. right? So hopefully there'll be some adjustments with that as well.
Yes.
Now we fast forward, and you said that you work with the commercial, you work with buyers and sellers. Give us a highlighted moment where it was like, you almost teared up. You said, "Man, I'm really happy for this client." Where y'all started off, it was rocky, but then ended up being a great story, an ending story.
I have
Oh, bunch of
more
them.
than one.
Just pick one. Yeah, you one good one.
Oh my goodness. And that's why I said, I know I was called for this, because anybody else would reconsider and be like, oh, this is too much. I can't do this. But I don't back down from a challenge at all. One of my clients, she's a self-employed, and because of her self-employment around the pandemic, the underwriters wanted documentation from IRS, and IRS was shut down. So you talking about on the phone with IRS hours and hours, calling people, seeing what we able to do. My client, my sweetie pie, like me and her are best friends now. She lost how many houses? She was under contract with like two, I don't remember, I think 2 or 3. And this is like money, like we were deep into the contract, meaning like they paid inspections, they paid appraisal. So she lost like money in each house. And because of the underwriters just not budging. They were like, is there any other way, any other thing that we can do? And, nothing. They was like, nope, we need this. Nope, we need this. Even during that time, and they knew IRS was closed, they gave us a hard time. When I say that was the hardest, and my client just was patient. And she called me one day and she said, Kalia, I'm going to be praying and I'm going to reevaluate my life, because something's not going on right in my life. Right. I need to do some things. So she did some personal stuff with her life, got herself centered, and she called me and was like, I'm ready to go. Let's downgrade a little bit. Let's get a home that's a little bit less expensive. Let's do what we got to do. And I'm like, okay. And I found her a new construction deal, no hassle, no hustle. Just went in. She picked her townhouse. She picked that plot. She picked, signed on the dotted line, approved. That was it. Wow. Smooth sailing. And it was just because she stuck with me and she was determined, and she reevaluated some things in her life, made those adjustments, and it worked out in her favor. That was, oh my gosh, it felt so good. And she was so happy. Her family was so happy. It was like all worth it at the end.
You see, and I've always said that, and I tell the agents here that work with us, is I think it's I don't want them to go through a rocky moment, but I do want them to, because of it builds you. One, it builds character. 2 is giving you experience, knowledge, and information to take into your next deal. So, I mean, I don't want to speak for you. Did it do that for you on your next deals?
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing. So here we are, Ms. Kalia. Now, I know that you said you got showings. I know you said you got things to do. We ask every guest to give us 2 golden nuggets that you can pass on to a buyer, a seller, or someone who's thinking about and getting into the business because they hear this great story that you have.
Okay, so I would say the first thing is go in with an open mind, especially in this market, and listen. It's very important to listen to the real estate professional. We've done this quite a few times. We have the experience with bumps and roadblocks that we got educated on it. So we're passing on that information. So, we're letting you know about how things go and, how to navigate through this process, listen, of course, make your own decisions and everything, but it's very important to, because sometimes when you don't listen, you fall into unnecessary issues. So that's one thing I would say is going into it with an open mind and be very receptive to direction is very, very important. In order to get you to the closing table, you have to do some things like buy the book, and dates have to be met, and things have to be done, and you have to, go and do everything in a timely manner. So sometimes that happens, and because you don't think that is as important, but we will let you know, hey, we need this, that, and third. We don't want to ride you and
Correct.
harass you or anything
Correct.
like that. It's for your benefit, so you don't lose any money. That's the one.
Okay.
The second one, have to say is, even with your first purchase, keep going. Just sky's the limit. Real estate is so awesome. As you know, with my story, I kept going. I've never seen that much money at one time, and I wasn't even a real estate professional. Everybody thinks you have to know so much in order to be a real estate investor. You don't. You really don't. As long as you just try, read, reach out to the real estate professional that knows a little bit more about it, and just dive into it. Like right now, that market is that type of market to do that. So buy your home in aspirations of keep building up generational wealth. And that's what I want for my buyers. That's why I educate them throughout the process, even things that are not really pertaining to them, because my hopes is that they'll be calling me and say, Kalia, I'm ready for my investment property.
That's right. That's right. Wow. I mean, definitely well said. Question I'm asking you now: is there a question that you wish I should have asked you that you want to answer? Like, why you didn't ask me that? What you got? You got something? I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Of course. That's what we do on this show.
Yeah. South Florida is popping right now. Okay, so the new construction in Central Florida is very good. Oh, anybody that wants to invest and they want to do it in Florida, I recommend doing it in Central Florida in Orlando, because a lot of the new construction builders, they're making communities that already have property managements for short-term rentals. So you literally, like the Airbnbs, so you're literally just buying a property and you paying the property managers, and you just sit back and relax, and they do everything. And the properties are coming furnished.
Okay. Is it similar? This is a little off topic here. Is it similar to what we had at Family Reunion?
Oh, yes.
Like that?
Like that.
Okay.
And I mean, even more lavish. I'm talking about water park, the community having a water park, water slide, gym. Like, it's like a one-stop shop. So Central Florida, next to Universal Studios, Disney World, those are the spots that everybody wants to rent nice places. They want to rent actual houses and townhouses to, have a big family gathering. So that's a little tidbit.
Wow.
Anybody that want to invest, do Central Florida.
Beautiful stuff. Let me tell you something. We're going to have all of your information once we get this all chopped up.
Yay.
I love to say Combs Premier Realty Group, and again, we're a brokerage as well. We always can, let me see, put that up there, let the people see it. That's right, tell that brother we give him a shout out. We probably get him on the show one time. And let them know that we could do a referral base from where they at to where we at as well. We want to keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
We want to thank you again. This is my cousin. And again, she's in her car because I inconvenienced her last minute, right? And she said, Mike, I can do this, but I don't know how the internet is going to be. So again, she did it for us, for me, and I greatly appreciate for that. Now you are an alumni of the show. Let me put that out there.
Yay.
And then we want to thank you again, Ms. Kalia Nurse, in the Central and South Florida area that she does cover. And we will follow up shortly.